Hello, and welcome to the Roughneck Minute, a Movies by Minute podcast where we go over the movie Starship Troopers 1 minute at a time. I'm one of your hosts, Matthew.
And I'm your other host, Johann.
And we're at minute 85. This minute begins with a comms officer, Sergeant Gillespie, trying to get a better reception and ends with troopers cresting a hill. Yeah, so he's still trying to get his reception on a 12-foot hill when Razchek said, "Hey, get to higher ground." I'm on higher ground. I'm like 5 feet up.
And even the soldiers don't even look that much smaller than him from where he's standing.
No, he's fine. I mean, like he's on a hill. Like, so there's a couple hills like in later on in this minute where he could easily climb up and probably get better reception, you know. But no, he decided, let me go up 6 feet. I'm going to do the least possible, effort possible.
So, one thing I noticed though, well, about 5 seconds in, first we do see that really, really weird reaction of like, a bug. Like his face is just...
Well, you hear the shrieking first, and then he turns around.
He's like, "Oh my god!"
Mm-hmm. I think his face is gonna be the episode picture.
All right, perfect. Just looking at the photo right now, he's fun.
And saved.
Yeah. So here's the thing I was thinking about just now, and I didn't really think about it then. When Johnny looks at the bug, he's on the right side of the flank or right side of the column.
Mm-hmm.
This bug now approaches from the left and goes to the right, so they are starting to be surrounded at this point.
Yeah, but it is just one bug, though.
No, that would make it two.
Oh, that's right. So there are multiple bugs around, or we also saw that he's the bug is kind of fast as well too. So maybe he's just kind of skidding around everywhere.
Yeah. So he hears what's essentially a baby elephant or something, and I think that's what the sound is. It sounds very much like an elephant.
Kind of, yeah.
And if you kind of pause at 24:05. The wings look really, really cool.
Yeah, they do.
Because they come out kind of like a bat wing. It's not like this huge section that's attached, like oval shaped, like most bugs are. Mm-hmm. It looks like it has an arm coming out with like a membrane attached to the wing, which is kind of a cool design on this bug.
Yeah, it looks like there's actual pieces of carapace instead of just, membrane or veins or anything like that. It looks like there are hard pieces of this bug attached to the wing. So this is it's awesome looking.
Yeah. So, in this minute, it's pretty brief that all this stuff happens real fast. But, so the bug comes down, swoops, does a quick stab to the gut. And it's starting to lift him off.
Yeah, I actually paused it right when he gets stabbed in the gut. He's still holding the comms, and he gets lifted up, too. I love that look because it's probably a special effect where he has, a harness on or something, and he's getting lifted up real quick.
Yeah, it's probably the ones that's attached, right to the... it looks like a shoulder harness, probably the attach point is right behind the... or right between the shoulder blades, just because of the way it looks like he's being lifted.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome. And then we get a nice little wide shot at 24:08. I'm sorry, 1 hour 24:08. And we see the hopper itself carrying Sergeant Gillespie around, and all the other troopers are below him, freaking out a little bit.
Yeah, they're trying to see what the commotion is and where it's coming from, etc. Stuff you need to do. So they did the right thing. I mean, it's a bit panicky, but they're definitely trying to see if there's anything to be worried about. But if you look at so at 24:08, you see everybody oh, what the hell is that? At the bottom right, you see the calm, cool, collective Razchek arm just still crossed with his hands over the rifle.
Yep.
He's
well, I figured this.
Yeah, he's such a badass.
He is.
So, God, he's so cool.
He is, and especially in the next scene, too, when he comes up. I'm sorry, not the next scene, the next couple seconds where he comes up and he just, calm and collectively asks Sugar for his weapon. He's like, Sugar, your weapon.
Yeah. Well, he's already he's a pretty hardened veteran. He knows what he's going to do.
Yes, he does. And it's not what we expect, honestly.
No. But I do notice a lot of them have horrible trigger control because their fingers are on the trigger. Even, Diz, come on, why do you gotta disappoint me?
Yeah. So I'm actually paused right here at 1 hour, 24 minutes and 20 seconds, right when Razchek aims down the rifle and looks through the scope. Man, this... I wish they would have done a little bit more work on the Merida itself, just because you can definitely see that big seam line right down the middle.
Yeah.
And also the washer and the bolt that bolts onto the the scope.
Because it kind of looks like you had the Merida, that's fine. You had the gel of it, or one side is created and then you just kind of glue them together. Mm-hmm. It really looks like they had to pry open the top part to put this bolt through to keep the scope stabilized.
You can even see there's some scratching on the paint where it looks like they put down a socket wrench or something like that as well too.
Yeah, I mean, shoot. So here's how I see it. So, the handle, I'm not sure what that's called. Like the top part.
It'd be a handle.
It'd be a handle.
It's not an iron sights or anything for the Merida.
But I thought it was... I know, but I was thinking like maybe it's like the mounted, like a rack or something like that. Because you don't necessarily hold a rifle that way.
No.
So I know there's people here that listen to the show that are in armed service. Let me know what that part of the rifle is. I definitely want to call it by what its proper name is in the future. But so when you look at the base of that area where you see that seam... It's V-shaped. That's mm-hmm. what makes me think that they just like split it apart just to put that post there where you see the washer and the post. And on that left side where you see the like the circular spot with the hole, mm-hmm. that's where the screw was to hold it together, but you couldn't put the screw there because you're prying it apart because now it's the what do you call that? Like kind of like just like the pathway where the screw goes through.
Yeah.
It would be bow shaped because now it's being split apart. So they couldn't put it there. So instead of filling it in with like putty or something like that, now we just have this weird hole.
I mean, come on, guys. I do, 1/144th scale models of Gundams, and I can fill in seam lines with putty and make it look good. You guys can do it with the Merida.
Yeah, but yeah, especially with the rifle that's going to be on hand with a minor character, but a major minor character because he's there for the rest of the film when he's in there. They could have done something. But that's what I'm seeing here is because of that V shape, it's been split apart. They removed the screw because they couldn't put it there. And now there's this bolt to hold the scope in place. And it's just in plain view. It does look sloppy.
I'm telling you, Hollywood, right now, because of what we're doing, because of what everyone in the Movies by Minute community is doing, you need to go back with your director for photography, your editing, your CG operators and everything like that, and look at everything in there that could be scrutinized minute by minute. You need people to do this. Heck, you know what? Get the community, the Movies by Minute community, to pay us, and we will, find all the problems in your movie.
Oh, damn. Matt's putting Hollywood on blast.
Woo! Hot take!
But I don't think we'd all be able to do dailies. Like, that's a lot of work.
No, but I mean, like, it would only be for certain movies that, want... But then again, who wants to pay extra people to do that? I don't know.
Yeah.
If they greenlight really, really crappy movies all the time, I mean, why not? If they have extra money? And some of these movies, like, I know a lot, like, of movies are sometimes, like money laundering scams as well, too. So, who knows?
Yeah.
That's another hot take.
So, like, at 26-28, where you see Gillespie kind of... in pain from what's obviously going through, because it looks like the bug's doing like little tiny jabs on the back of him.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I saw that was really cool was you see the scope and you see the crosshair, but there's like a reticle.
Yeah, reticle.
Okay, the red, and it spins clockwise. And when it spins clockwise, it does a zoom and then it goes away. That is actually really, I think it's a really cool effect.
Yeah, I really love the scope zoom in, just because it sounds like mechanical, kind of like oh gosh, I want to say the best thing I can describe it, describe like a when you're getting your eyes checked, and you know you have the mechanical, the big glasses in front of your eyes, and he's turning them and it's changing and whatnot. This would be kind of like that, but in a scope version,
Okay, so watching it a little bit, and you hear like the little tiny stabs on the guy. It looks like I'm not sure if he's stabbing him. It looks like it's like a stinger that he's stabbing him with.
It is a stinger slash. It's definitely a stinger. So he picked him up with his stinger, basically.
So I'm wondering, like, is he just kind of like, what would that stinger be used for?
Not sure. I mean, it could probably be venomous as well too.
Yeah, but what kind of venom? Because sometimes the venom is a paralyzing agent.
Yeah, or like a necrotic agent. Like if it was going to, but I don't think this bug is going. I don't know if we don't know how these bugs eat. They don't have. I mean, the only bug that we see ingest anything is towards the very end, and it uses a proboscis.
Yeah. So that's why I'm wondering, like, what the purpose of the stinger was. Basically, like, what kind of venom it might be using. If it's a paralyzing agent, whether it's like an acidic agent. Because if it wasn't used to deliver any sort of enzyme, it's a protein enzyme, wouldn't it be? Yeah.
Yes.
It would be a bite or a mandible.
Yeah, and he's not using the hopper's not using his mandible at all.
Yeah, so, wasps would use their mandibles, but bees use their stingers. So that's why I'm wondering, like, what could possibly be in that stinger? And I'm sure it definitely causes a ton of pain, other than the fact he's being stabbed by an ice pick the size of a hockey stick, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean that it's not even an ice pick, man. It's like a long. Harpoon? It's the size of those kind of machetes that you get at Walmart.
Yeah, or it's what's it? Maui's hook.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit, yeah. Maui's fish. I actually just watched that movie today with my son.
I think that movie's amazing.
It's a great movie.
So I'm just rewatching that scene where, like, I'm going over it again and again of where the bug is basically, at this point, it's just playing with the body because he did do a clean kill. So
yeah, it looks like he's stabbing him in the legs as well too, kind of like disabling him and everything. Honestly, it could like be paralyzing agents because yeah, Gillespie is like holding up his body with his hands, so his like torso or even. I'm thinking that the bug maybe severed his spinal column, if anything.
Well, because he stabbed him in the gut.
Yes.
And then brings him there. And so he's trying to drag himself.
With his hands, but just his hands.
Okay, so, well, I'm wondering if he's just, first off, in pain, obviously. But, because if it was a paralyzing agent, it would just numb almost the whole body.
Well... Also, think of it like this. Remember in the episode of Futurama where Fry gets stung by the queen bee? It goes through him and gets into Leela. He doesn't get any of the poison.
Oh, and then she does.
And she does, exactly. So, because the stinger went all the way through, and usually the stinger, on most stingers, they release a venom at the very, very end. If it didn't go all the way through, it probably wouldn't have delivered that much venom, if any.
Yeah, I know, but it stabbed him like almost through.
Well, I mean, okay, but that's not going to paralyze you. That's except if it goes through your spinal column, as I said before, it's just going to hurt real bad, and you're definitely going to die.
Yeah, okay. And it looks like he's doing like a bit of a walrus walk to be in view here, because it looks like he's just dragging his leg, but his upper torso is straight up.
Yeah. And, well, Raschek, figures out, well, he's pretty much done. I mean, he doesn't want to have his trooper tortured anymore. And he takes aim not at the bug, but at Gillespie's chest and fires.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why he just didn't let off 2 shots, but the shot to the soldier, I kind of understand.
Oh, yeah.
Like, no one's coming to rescue you. You're kind of screwed.
Not only that, but, I mean, if you're paralyzed, there's no help you at this moment.
Yeah. Like, you can't even help yourself at this point, even if I did kill the bug.
Mm-hmm.
So he just gave him a bit of mercy at this point.
Oh, yeah. But also he tells everyone else, kind of coldly a little bit as well, too, I expect anyone else in this unit to do the same for me. Basically saying, remember at the very beginning, if you don't do your job, I'll shoot you myself.
Yeah. So, one thing I noticed when you pause at like 24:27 at the 27th second mark, the wings are huge. It's almost twice the size of this bug.
I mean, it has to be. This is a giant bug. And also, I mean, like, this isn't a low-gravity a planet, so it has to be really, really big to carry this big, giant bug.
Well, see, but remember, we were going on a theory, like, whether or not the planets on the other bugs were high gravity or low gravity because of their size.
Yeah.
And this is where I think they may have come from a planet that is a higher gravity because they've evolved to having big enough wings to carry their size.
Yeah, and, well, I mean, that's the case too. If that was the case, then the warriors would be a little light on their feet as well.
Yeah, and, well, the other reason why I think that it's because they come from an area with a little bit higher gravity is they're flying, not gliding.
Okay.
Because if they were gliding, they wouldn't. It would just be wings made to sustain them for a certain period of time. But this one is flying, which means they're used to the idea of flapping their wings to basically stay suspended in air.
I just figure because it has such big wings that it evolved to actually flap its wings and fly.
Yeah, but it would take years for it to do that, not just a campaign to fight against the humans. But evolution with bugs is much faster than humans because they go through many more generations. But also I noticed that the cover of the wings, that hard shell, it's rainbow colored. It's kind of cool looking.
It is. It's not as big as a wing, so maybe the wings fold up as well too, kind of like a ladybug's.
Yeah, that's another thing I was thinking of, like, because when you look at the wings here, so it comes up and you see it looks like a 3-point. There's one that goes to the downright, across, and then up, and then there's another section of the wing that seems to like kind of curve to the top left. I'm wondering if that's a part that folds under.
Probably, yeah.
Because doesn't a ladybug kind of roll its wing when it goes underneath?
Yeah, so just, I think within the last couple of years, people who study bugs, they discovered how ladybugs fold their wings because realistic, or in theory, it doesn't usually work, but they actually took a look at it, and yeah, it folds up like origami kind of, and folds over once and then folds over again. It's kind of like in an S pattern.
Yeah, so that's why I think that this part here, it doesn't fold in an S pattern, it just folds in half. And right at that point where there's that crook where it's like let's see here, like 110 degrees right there, that might be the portion that folds over when it goes underneath the shell there.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of a cool design.
It really is, and it's really cool too. I really love the design of these bugs. These are possibly one of my favorite bugs in the movie.
Yeah. They don't get enough feature on here, but there's probably a good reason why. Yeah.
Probably really hard to animate.
Well, yeah, I think it's part of the animation, but as we've seen when they, on their first bug drop, when we noticed that the warrior was definitely not in the same space as the dead body or the body being attacked, it's a little bit harder to hide the kill when it's going to be in the middle of the screen versus on the bottom with the warrior. You know what I mean? All the kills are going to be decapitation, so it kind of shows up on the top half of the screen. So with the warriors, you can hide it because it's pinning you down to the ground, and then they're just throwing body parts into the air. Whereas this one, the cut has to come from above, and then the head rolls down. So I think that might be one of the reasons why it's just a little bit easier to show off the kill if with the warriors than it is with the hoppers. So that's why the warriors tend to dominate the screen.
Yeah.
Other than the warriors being a more synonymous icon for the bugs, but I just think that that's my opinion of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to animate the human that dies as well.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And then we, after Razchek does say his little line, we get a view of everyone else in the squad, Ace, Rico, Dizzy, and they're kind of looking a little befuddled, like, oh, wow, he was serious. But then Razchek does say, hey, Rico, you're acting sergeant. Move him out.
And here's the bad part about Rico. You know what I'm talking about. 124.46.
After his little speech of, I expect everyone else to do the same for me, he tosses Sugar the gun, and everyone in the squad, I don't think even Sugar kind of looks a little, he doesn't look too like confused about it, but Rico, Ace, and Diz are a little like, whoa, he's serious. He's going to shoot us if we don't do our job.
Yeah, so right about like the 46, 45 mark, there's 3 soldiers in the back. They have a morose look on their face, like one of our companions just died. And if he was a comms officer, that means he was probably in the group for a while, especially if he was a sergeant.
Yes, but Razchek does say to Rico, you're acting sergeant, move him out. And so, but yeah, that's why all those other soldiers behind him are looking a little morose, a little upset. Maybe they got passed up.
Yeah. But around the 46 mark, the 46-second mark, we have Johnny smiling about his promotion. Not the right time, dude.
Hey, wait, people die and they get promoted? This is awesome.
Yeah, I know.
I wish more people would die.
Yeah, he has this he's like, yeah, I'm sergeant because somebody died. It's like,
field promotion.
Yeah, it's not the right time to do this, bud.
No, but he just says, you heard the lieutenant, saddle up.
Yep.
And they keep going.
So right here at like 54, 56 mark, you kind of see the base of the outpost, but it doesn't come into view just yet. Not at the end of right at the end of the minute, you kind of still see the base of the wall, so you don't get to really see everything about it until the next minute.
Nope. But yeah, we crested the hill, and they're headed to Whiskey Outpost.
But the thing is, the reason why I wanted to bring that up is in the script, how they approached this outpost is not the same as they did it on the script. That's why I think that this thing was completely different. That's why I kept saying that having this guy was to try and keep getting dailies, or not dailies, producer notes of what to do. So during the script, when I said that the hoppers are following along, at this point the hoppers come out of hiding and start dive bombing everybody.
Huh.
So they're dive bombing, and then the Roughnecks are in, of course, the Marauder suits at this point. So we don't have that. But so Johnny's diving, because Diz warns him. She says, "Johnny, watch out!" And then Johnny dives, and then Diz gets in the way, and she fires, blowing apart a hopper that could have hit both of them. And then Razchek says, "Let's go," on the bounce. And they start to run. They run through this flat, like the canyon, and then they finally get to the flatlands. And that's when they see the 4th Brigade headquarters.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I kind of thought like this guy was on there to prevent getting more show notes about this scene. because there could have been, probably just anything like don't increase the budget by adding more bugs, blah blah blah. So he gave the part to this guy so they would stop harassing him, because there's obviously stuff that he couldn't do anymore. Because almost not every fight, but there's been a lot of the fights that within reason were filmed. This was a fight that was not within reason that should have been filmed. I mean, they could have done it, but for some reason it didn't, and that's why I think that this guy on here, Gillespie, was doing this role just to prevent more notes to come Verhoeven's way.
That makes sense. But that's really where that minute ends, guys. Do you have anything else you want to say about this particular minute?
No. I think I'm all right. Next minute gets exciting.
Oh, yeah, it does. Where can they find you, Johann?
You guys can find me on Twitch and Instagram at JDASHD26. You can also find me on Twitter at OMG It's Johann. Lately, I've just been streaming Monster Hunter World with my Palico cat that has a Horizon Zero Dawn armor.
Oh, you got it? Cool. What's your Palico's name?
Coral Storm.
Oh.
Yeah.
I miss Coral.
Yeah, I do too. And it's colored like coral.
So cute.
Yeah.
Well, you guys can find me at AltTabMatt pretty much anywhere on the internet. I also have been streaming a lot of Elite Dangerous. Elite Dangerous is fun. Space sim. Space trucking mostly now. But you guys can follow the show at The Roughneck Men on Twitter. You can also go to our website, theroughneckminute.podbean.com, for any past episodes or show notes. You can also go to our Facebook group, The Roughneck Minute Billet, to get into the conversation and tell us about your Palico cat if you are playing Monster Hunter World. Or heck, play with Johann. Or play with me later on when the game comes out on PC, because I ain't buying a PlayStation.
Yeah. I've been squatting up with Alex of Backlog Battle.
Yes.
Or what is it? Is it Backlog Battle? The name of the
I think
squad?
it's Backlog Battle, yeah.
Yeah. So, I've been grouping up with Alex of Backlog Battle. A little bit of cross promotion there. He's a longtime friend, personal friend of mine, not necessarily a show friend. But it's a video game podcast if you want to get more stuff to listen to, and they do Twitch stream quite a bit.
Yes, they do. You can also, guys, please subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, or any other podcast you guys use as well, too. Again, thank you guys so much for listening to us, but I've been one of your hosts, Matthew.
I've been your other host, Johann.
We will see you on the Bounce Troopers.